All right, so this is example for section 2.7, number 19, and this is 9 minus 6w over 5 minus w over 2 is less than negative 5. And so what we're going to do is we want to get rid of these fractions. And so what I do here is I look at the 5 and at the 2, and I know that if I were to do 2 times 5, I would get 10, which means that 10 is divisible by 2 and 10 is divisible by 5. So I'm going to go use that information to multiply all of my terms by 10. So when you have a fraction like this, or two fractions, if the smaller value, in this case the 2, divides the larger denominator, then you can multiply everything by whatever this larger denominator is. If it doesn't, this is probably the easiest thing to do. Now, at this case here, at this point, what I do is I do 10 divided by 5 is 2. So I have to make sure that I keep that 2 in front of the 9 minus 6w. And then 10 divided by 2 is 5, so that becomes my 5w less than or equal to negative 50. So now I'm going to go ahead and distribute the 2, which is going to be 18, and then minus 12w. And I'm going to go ahead and combine like terms, so that's negative 17w. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and subtract 18 from both sides. And so I have negative 17w is less than negative 68. And now, since I have to divide both sides by a negative value, so I have negative 17w is less than negative 68, I'm going to divide by negative 17. I have to switch the direction of my inequality symbol. So then what I'm going to have is that w is less than 68 over 17, because a negative divided by a negative is a positive. And then at this point in time, if you can reduce this fraction, you go ahead and reduce it. Now, at this point in time, we can't reduce this because 17 is a prime number. And so I'm going to go ahead and write it in interval notation. And so if I were to graph this, it would go from 68 over 17. It would be a parentheses, and it would be going that way. So I'm going to use that information to go ahead and write it in interval notation. And then that's my solution to number 19, 2.7.